9/11, the deadliest terrorist attacks to ever occur on U.S. soil in history. In a crazed thirst for justice, the United States engaged in a war against those responsible. In 1973, the Afghan monarchy was overthrown by Duad Khan, who was sympathetic to Soviet overtures. Afghanistani factions showed much disagreement on how Afghanistan should be governed and whether or not it should establish communism. In December of 1979, the Soviet Union intervened and invaded Afghanistan. During that time, the US and the Soviet Union were pinned against each other in the Cold War. Therefore, the US wanted intel on the Soviet success in establishing communism. On July 3, 1979, President Jimmy Carter secretly authorized the CIA to spend $500,000 to support Afghani opposition efforts.
Begins with Al-Qaeda.
Religion played a strong role in the Afghanistani war. The Afghan Mujahideen were Muslims causing Arabs all around the world to join the Jihad, or the Holy War. Among them was the son of a wealthy Saudi Arabian family, Osama bin Laden, as well as the head of the Egyptian Islamic Jihad organization, Ayman Zawahiri. During the Afghan War, Osama and Zawahiri lived in Pakistan, where they trained Arab recruits to fight alongside the Mujahideen. These recruits, along with their trainers, were the beginnings of the Al-Qaeda framework. On September 11, 2001, 19 terrorists from Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 passenger planes and crashed them, causing mass casualties. After the terrorist attacks on 9/11, the United States placed significant pressure on the Taliban to turn over bin Laden and the members of Al-Qaeda that were responsible for the attacks. On October 7th, after the Taliban refused to give up bin Laden, the United States began bombing Taliban military sites and aiding the Northern Alliance. The United States has had a long and checkered history of being in the oil business in the Middle East. Saddam Hussein nationalized the Iraqi oil industry in 1972 and tossed the American oil companies out of Iraq. The US invaded Iraq in 2003 and captured Saddam Hussein, not because he threw out American oil companies, but because Saddam Hussein tried to acquire weapons of mass destruction. He was also known for using chemical weapons during the Iraq-Iran War in the 1980s. Saddam Hussein was executed on December 30th, 2006.
Begins with Al-Qaeda.
The United States launched Operation Enduring Freedom on October 7, 2001, primarily aiming towards Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. The primary driver for the invasion was to capture Osama bin Laden and others who were accused for the September 11th attacks. US military forces were unable to capture bin Laden, but succeeded in toppling the Taliban government as well as disrupting the Al-Qaeda terrorist network. As of December 31, 2010, the United States reported approximately 100,000 military personnel in the Middle East. Religion still plays a major role in the Middle East. Every Muslim in the world has a fundamental mind that is related to his or her religion. Al-Qaeda was formed by jihadists and their Muslim recruits to join the Holy War, known as the Jihad in Arabic. Jihad happened because of 3 items: land, honor, and interest. If people from other countries affect their land, people, and economy, jihadists will do anything to resolve the problem and expel the invaders out of their country. As the war raged, so did the casualties. In Afghanistan, an estimated 1,000 US soldiers and 8,000 Afghan civilians have been killed. The total number of casualties in Afghanistan, including coalition troops and Afghan soldiers, is an estimated 20,000. The casualties are even greater in Iraq. 4,000 US troops and 30,000 Iraqi soldiers have been killed, but the real problem was the civilian instability in the Iraq war. Approximately 800,000 Iraqi civilians have been killed and 1.5 million injured. The serious population loss in Iraq will affect the future ability of the Iraqi government to bring security, peace, and development back to their people.
Begins with Al-Qaeda, but it does not end there. It will not end until every terrorist group of global reach has been found, stopped, and defeated.
This 10-year conflict has proved to be costly for both sides, with billions of dollars spent and thousands of lives lost. One may ask if it was all really worth it. There is no doubt, though, that the attacks on 9/11 will have forever changed history and the way the United States manages its security.